Now we are told that the great debate is about who gets to use which bathroom. This is a distraction from our real problems. Who cares? Of course, every American has a unique identity. I am proud to be gay. I am proud to be a Republican. But most of all, I am proud to be an American.
That was Peter Thiel, billionaire co-founder of PayPal, speaking to the convention earlier. An interesting moment, and I'm going to turn to my panel here for their impressions of the crowd's reaction as Peter Thiel delivered those lines. Major, what did you observe?
So I think one of the things that you can say about the Trump faction of the Republican Party, which we now know is a very large faction, is they are not as hung up about some of these issues as other sections of the old Republican Party. I mean, one of the things that Ted Cruz talked about when this issue of transgender bathrooms, he hit that issue relentlessly to very minimal effect. And Trump did not. Trump sort of danced around it, but you can more or less tell whatever he was saying, he was not opposed to it, and he wasn't going to invest any political capital or outrage in it at all.
Right.
He just doesn't care. And in talking to Trump supporters, they really do want a kind of core reductionist to things that matter most in their lives. What are my wages? What is my economic future? And what is my security? And that's basically it. Anything else that is used as a more commonly deployed wedge issue doesn't really cut it for them.
Yeah.
And I thought the reaction tonight to both Peter Thiel and then to what Trump himself said about the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
Reflected that.
Let's go ahead and actually play that for our viewers, and then let's talk about that. This was a moment during Donald Trump's speech. Let's take a listen.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me. And I have to say, as a Republican, it is so nice to hear you cheering for what I just said. Thank you.
All right, so an unscripted moment there, we should note. That last bit that you heard there, Donald Trump responding to the cheers that he heard from the crowd. Steve Chaggaris, our CBS News senior political editor, that was not part of his original script.
No, that last line was not. Again, we talked earlier about these sprinkles of compassion, and that was one of them. And it goes back to this idea of, could Donald Trump show America what all these character witnesses, his family, his friends and business associates who came out to this convention and spoke about over the last few days, about how this guy is different behind the scenes than he's been on the stump. He's not as harsh, not as stark, not as offensive to some people as in person as he is on the stump. And so that was one of those moments, I think, where you saw him really just sort of say, thank you for reacting positively to something that probably, you know, in past conventions, Republicans, it wouldn't have been brought up, first of all, at a Republican convention before. And secondly, who knows what the reaction would have been, but probably not that positive.
Major, is this the kind of thing that social conservatives look at and question his, you know, conservative credentials?
Probably. And I don't think you would have seen, for example, Mike Pence weighed into that at that level. There's nothing about Mike Pence's politics that would be consistent with that at all. Quite the opposite. And that shows you that it matters who's at the top of the ticket. And just one other thought. I just think that's a great garage band name. Sprinkles of Compassion.
Well, Let's do it.
I swear to God, I just think that has got. I don't know. It just hits every note.
Yeah.
So what is
I'm
it
not
though? Is it
doing
like
vocals.
covers or is it hard rock, metal?
Oh, just shredding
Okay.
constantly.
How
You know,
about,
it's just like headbanger stuff.
I'm thinking like a Neil Diamond
tell
cover.
that
No,
Major's
Sprinkles
been
of
Yeah.
working for 67
Right.
straight
Yes.
hours.
All right.